Viwe Chunwana.
I'm Labika Rawood. For more information on the work that we do and how you can help us to help others, please visit our website www.secondchances.org.za.
In Junior Achievement South Africa, its focus is really to expose youngsters within high school and out of school to entrepreneurial thinking, and ours is focused at high school from grade 10 to 12.
I'm very big on youth empowerment and making a difference and touching lives and impacting the lives of our young people. That's practically what I do with my foundation as well, and ever since I was crowned as Miss SA.
The goal of the magazine is to basically share information that will be able to assist small business owners.
You're listening to The Social Show with Viwe Chilwana
And Labika Rawood, live on brandlive.co.za.
Welcome. It is Viwe and I in studio, and we're having a better day than we did yesterday, right, Viwe?
I definitely agree. I think yesterday we were going through a lot. We can't really share everything on radio, but we're back. We're back at it.
Yes, and yesterday we spoke a bit about international organizations we thought are really, really making a difference. And today we will focus more on NGOs in South Africa. But without further ado, let's go into our news.
With less than 400,000 African elephants left and one lost every 15 minutes of every day to ivory poaching, experts indicate that this majestic species will be extinct by 2030. To protect Africa's heritage and further enrich their commitment to conservation, Amarula has joined forces with Kenyan-based conservation organization Wildlife Direct, working closely with their CEO, Dr. Paula Kahumbu. Through this campaign, viewers can actively participate in preserving the African elephant by casting a spotlight on the problem with their friends and family. This will be guided through an immersive online experience into a virtual digital savannah where they can choose an elephant, design it with a range of colorful patterns, then name and share it with friends online. Once you know them by name, you may never dream of hurting them. That's what they're trying to really show off. Then maybe if you personalize the elephant, you might sort of see the value a little bit more. You know, African elephant is an integral part of our African heritage and culture, and just like humans, each elephant is an individual with a unique personality. In addition to funding this global campaign, Amarula will donate $1 to Wildlife Direct for every elephant named and shared per user. As an authentically African brand, Amarula has committed to the protection of African elephants since 2002 and has donated over 600,000 to the cause over this period. The partnership with Wildlife Direct is expected to add a lot more strength to Amarula's conservation efforts. I like this one. I love elephants. I think they're just majestic in their nature. But more than that, I mean, how can we lose elephants? Imagine growing up in a world where there were no elephants and telling your kids, we once had elephants. It's I can't even think about it. It's very important that people look at you know, our animals like they're people.
People, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And okay, speaking of elephants, I know we're in our news, but if you could be an animal, Viwe, I know I would definitely be an elephant, and that is what sparked this question. But what animal would you be?
I would be this is a difficult one because I love a lot of animals.
Especially dogs, right?
Those are my favorite. I would be wow. I would be a is it a panther? I just think they're very like cool and they've got swag. No?
Okay. Well, that's what Viwe would like.
And
to
you'd be an elephant, Labika.
I would be an elephant because I'll be able to remember everything. And right now, I have such a bad memory, you know. So I'd like to be an elephant. But if you could be any animal, what would it be? Please let us know on social media. Okay. In other news, Recently certified as the #1 top employer in Africa, Unilever has been recognized for their efforts in skills development at the Cheetah National Recognition Awards ceremony. The FMCG giant recently received the Best Innovation in Skills Development Award for the Unilever and Wits University Engineering Program, which was launched in January 2016. Over the next 4 years, the engineering program will have given 120, well, this is what Unilever states, the engineering program will have given 120 students an opportunity to work at Unilever's new estate at the Art Kanyisa factory in Boksburg to gain much needed on-the-job training and practical experience while developing their technical and problem-solving skills. Thereafter, the program will cover the further 2 years of tuition fees to graduation, and the program addresses not only the financial constraints of these students, but substantially improves their chances of completion through outlook, exposure, mentorship, and networks, which are critical but often overlooked key success factors in tertiary education. Competent engineering is essential for a wide range of basic needs, which is critical to meeting South Africa's National Development Plan goals. The reality, however, is that South Africa is severely under-engineered, and one of the biggest challenges the sector faces is the shortage of new skills. So yes, I know, Viwe, you've worked quite closely to Unilever, and you know more about the campaigns than I do. But I think this, I mean, being recognized as the top employer in Africa and receiving the best innovation in skills development definitely doesn't just go to anyone. So you have to really, really be active in your CSI campaigns and that kind of thing too.
They've got a really, really amazing, aggressive CSI campaign that you can see in the media. You can see quite in the kind of the things that they do. It's visible. And if anyone wants to sort of adopt a very rigorous, aggressive strategy, I think Unilever is where you need to look at. So it makes sense that they get that award. I mean, they're really amazing. They're really doing very good stuff. And I mean, of course, they've been around for a long time, but I love how they integrate brands and how they integrate the community and how they sort of conceptualize their events. It's just a different experience. You feel like you're at an experience. You're not just at some event for CSI. They really think things through. And I mean, Unilever's worldwide, so they've got a lot of backing and they've got a lot of support, but that's where it all starts, So they all started small. They went, you don't know where they are now, and it's great to hear that they're still, improving. Because sometimes when you get that good, you stop trying too hard because the brand speaks for itself. But what's great about them is that they keep on keeping on. I love Unilever for that, and I don't work for them. They don't pay me. I'm just being honest. Okay. In other news, an estimated 3.4 million people across the Eastern Cape are in need of food aid due to high food prices worsened by 2 consecutive years of drought. Over 500,000 of these people are also struggling to purchase food to meet a minimum energy intake of 8,786 kilojoules, as they are living on an average of 498 a month. This is according to Molatelo Mamadi, a director of Department of Agriculture and Forestry and Fisheries in Pretoria. He was addressing the conference on food security in Africa held at the International Convention Centre in East London recently on the 4th of November. The 3-day conference was attended by Pan-African food security experts from Zambia, Malawi, Rwanda, Burundi, Lesotho, Swaziland, Sudan, Nigeria, Mauritius, Kenya, and the list goes on and on. The poverty in Eastern Cape is such that not even, they could not even ask some people in the area if they were hungry because they could see it. That's what he said. He said it wasn't even a matter of let's ask how do they feel. It's evident. So you can see that the kids are malnutrition. You can see that people are just not doing very well in the Eastern Cape. He said also that the country has not produced enough food for the consumption year ending March 2017 because of the drought. And he also said an average household in the province earns as little as 1,000 rand. Wow. I don't know. This is crazy. I'm from the Eastern Cape. And that scares me. That scares me that so many people are, number one, living under such a small amount of money. I mean, imagine 1,000 rand. What would you do with it? It ends in like a day.
Exactly. And I'm sure most of these families have 8 kids to feed. You know, they large families, and 1,000 rand is not sufficient, and it's really sad. I mean, we have all these campaigns. We have Stop Hunger Now and all of these other campaigns, but yet they are
still like this.
It's still like this. People as close as Eastern Cape or children are still struggling with or suffering from malnutrition.
And it's crazy because Eastern Cape is actually quite strong when it comes to agriculture because it's a rural space. A lot of rural communities are there and they're thriving and they thrive on the land. And for drought to be one of the other reasons why people can't eat, it's devastating because, you know, a lot of people would associate rural communities with hunger, right? In a normal nutshell, people would think people are hungry, and usually they're not. You know, they've got other problems like education and stuff, but hunger, it is something that they're not used to because they have the land. They can plow, they can plant seeds, you know, they have chickens, they have crows, they have cattle. But now when drought hits, that kills their one of their only real sustainable ways of getting food. And I think that's so devastating. That's so devastating.
Really
so you've got less money and you've got a really bad climate.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That's it's really sad what's happening in the country, you know. But in other news, the Department of Water and Sanitation has started a process of releasing water from the country's reserves at Sterkfontein Dam into the Vaal Dam. Now, the department said this was necessitated by the low level of the Vaal Dam due to the drought and the high evaporation as a result of high temperatures. The water will flow from Sterkfontein Dam into Nuwejaarsspruit and then into the Wilge River, which will then feed the Vaal. Now, the release of the water from the reserve storage at Sterkfontein Dam forms part of the process of managing the dam level at the Vaal to stay at or above 25% of capacity, the department said. And the process, which started on Monday morning, 7th of November, is envisaged to be over 54 days till the end of December. Wow, December is so close. But in total, the release will allow for a maximum of 200 million cubic meters to have been released at the end of the 54 days.
Wow.
All this water is meant to replenish the Vaal, and therefore all those along the waterways of the Nuwejaarsspruit, the Wilge and the Vaal are reminded not to engage in any illegal activities like unauthorized abstraction or diversion of the resource, the department said. And while this will bring some stability to the Vaal Dam, the department warned that the reality of the drought should be realized and the need to continue water conservation and the wise use of water remains. So yes, they are still, you know, telling people, you know, that you should still save water.
Yeah.
Don't think that, you know, because you still have water in your taps, it's okay. You know, you're never going to run out of water. We are really affected by a water crisis, you know, and if all households are not going to, you know, come together or really try and conserve water in their homes, this problem will persist and it might even get worse.
It's so crazy. Like the other day at home at Marvel, I realized that the water wasn't coming out of the taps.
Oh my word.
For like an entire day. I put it on and put it off. And I mean, it's just so simple to close your taps and not just use water necessarily. I know you guys, it's hot. I know you want to go into the pool.
Yeah.
I know you want to do all these crazy things, but just be aware. You know, and I think that's what this is about. Be aware. Water is a privilege. It's getting to a place where it's going to be a privilege, and we honestly need to have more preventative
methods.
Yeah, than trying to fix all the time. We can't always be a country trying to fix all the time. Anyway, lastly in our news, Sasol Siaka Enterprise and Supplier Development Fund has secured 20 million credit guarantee facility for the Small Enterprise Finance Agency, SEFA, to enable it to service high risk and small, medium-sized enterprises. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Minister of Small Business Development, Lindiwe Sulu, said the credit facility is expected to support 10 small, medium, and micro-sized enterprises, creating 100 jobs at an average loan size of 2 million. She also said that this is most likely temporary. This was not a time. Yeah, it's not time to sort of turn away seeking help. So she's basically saying it's just a 20 million to start off with, but it won't be something that it's going to be better in the future. Established more than 10 years ago, SEFA's mandate is to help reduce poverty and unemployment by increasing access to and provision of finance to SMMEs and cooperatives. Sasol Executive Vice President of Energy Businesses, Maurice Khatebe, said Sasol is committed to enabling small and medium enterprises to be viable and sustainable. Each year, Sasol invests close to R1 billion in programs to advance the socio-economic development of the communities in which it operates globally, of which take up more than 80% of this investment in South Africa. It's great.
It's okay.
Sasol is doing good things as usual. I don't know if it's as usual, but
we hope.
Yes,
we hope so.
yes.
Okay, so today's Tuesday, and you know what that is? It is where we speak about the NGOs that are really making a difference. You know, and I know there are a lot of NGOs, so we're singling a few that we know of out.
Yeah.
Okay, so today I have an NGO which I really, really care deeply about, and Viwe will reveal hers just now in the show. But okay, can I go first, Viwe?
No, you can go.
Okay, so my NGO is obviously something that everyone has heard of. You know, it's not something new, and it's Reach for a Dream.
Okay.
It's the Reach for a Dream Foundation. Now, they seek as far as possible to make dreams come true, and that is why it's called Reach for a Dream. And their vision is to grow the foundation, enabling them to continue giving hope to children fighting life-threatening illnesses through the fulfillment of their dreams, and to further help as many children facing these illnesses through their national projects such as the Camp Sunshine, Queen for a Day, Captain Courage, Show You Care, and Sendabe, and the Jabulani Kingdom Hospital entertaining projects that all function on an ongoing basis. And for 28 years, the Reach for a Dream Foundation has brought hope, joy, and healing to countless South African children. Now, these children between the ages of 3 and 18 years have used their dreams to fight life-threatening illnesses such as cancer and leukemia, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, renal failure, and various blood disorders. And you know, I mean, I don't know many children who suffer from life-threatening illnesses, but the little that I know of, I know a little boy. He's about 6 years old.
Yeah.
And he knows that he's suffering from an illness, but he has so many dreams.
Yeah.
He still has a smile on his face, and he's always, just he is encouraging you, like when you speak to him, he tells you, life is short, so you should, just live your life to the fullest, and that really encourages me. And now you get Reach for a Dream that stands there to exist, just to help these kids, and help their dreams come true. Because when you're 5 years old and when you're younger, you have these dreams, whether it's believing in Santa Claus or whether it's to be an astronaut, you have these dreams, and Reach for a Dream really exists to make these dreams come true, and that's my NGO of choice today.
That's very good. And I mean, I think that kid maybe wants to be an astronaut in the coming future. I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, I'd like to be that too. But you're completely right. I completely agree.
Viwe.
Reach for a Dream is, maybe we should get them on the show. I think it'd be important to get them on the show because, look, they've got so many things that they do, and I'm sure they've got so many beautiful stories. And those stories, like you said, like this boy you're talking about, I feel like there would be so many other people that would be inspired by that interview. So maybe we should look into that here. On my end, my NGO of choice is a little bit different, but I also really commend them because I think they came up with a strategy that works for the time that we're in, one. But more than that, that really resonates with a lot of CSI mandates that how people should actually get into CSI in an easier, in a translatable way. So my NGO of choice is For Good. Now, I spoke to For Good, and I've had experiences with them, and I saw how their site works. And I think if you are interested, you would be very excited. And if you have no idea where to start in the world of CSI, in the world of charities and donations and volunteering, this is a good start. So For Good is an online platform that connects people with who want to make a difference to causes that need their help. They create social citizens. So on For Good, you can explore their database of verified non-profit organizations and volunteer your time and skills and donate goods or give back on your own terms by creating an offer to causes in your area. More importantly, For Good strives to create meaningful and impactful connections between people and causes. All causes on For Good capture exactly what they need on their profile. So this creates a better match. I always say it's like I don't know if you know like Grindr or like these online dating sites.
No, I don't really.
I also don't. But what happens on the sites is that you put up your profile and you whatever you say. Okay, I like animals. I like dogs. You know, animals are dogs. I like ice cream, and you get matched with someone who has the same likes as you.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you tell people what you want, and they also do the same thing, and then the software will select the most suitable companions and show them on your timeline. So that's exactly what they do. It's like a dating site, but for causes and NGOs and donations. I think it's so dope. Anyway, you don't agree with me right now in your face. The platform allows for your company to plug in to the For Good ecosystem and your employees to find volunteering opportunities that may suit their interest and location while still remaining aligned to your CSI strategy. They provide businesses with the ability to brand, customize, administrate, measure, track, and report all volunteering and CSI activity. This data is controlled can form the basis of an extensive employee recognition program critical to retaining talent in the modern age. They also provide I want to work for them. Maybe I want to work for them. They also provide support so you can train and motivate and keep your staff engaged, and you can learn more about the company. If you want to know a little bit more, you must go to forgood.co.za. I'm sure you've seen their adverts. They're also quite rife digitally. They're always on like my YouTube feed, like with a little bit of a insert or something. But For Good is doing really great stuff, and if you are struggling as a company, as a corporate, as an individual to really find your match, you know, it's so easy just to get on and say, this is my skill, I'm good at singing, I'm good at, and I want to go teach, you know, up and coming musicians in Hillbrow, you know. So you need to just match your skill with the cause, and it's that easy. And I think the easier it is, the more it gets people to participate, right? So that's what you need. That's what CSI is heading to. If you want to volunteer, don't make it so hard for people to contact you. Don't make it so hard for people to think about contacting you. It mustn't be, I have to email this person and text this person. It must be as easy as going on Facebook. It must be as easy as going on, you know, Grindr or Tinder. People go on that every single day. They're always on. So imagine that culture started cultivating, and more people were just sort of matching with their causes and donating and volunteering. It's very easy. Just go to forgood.co.za, and that's all from me with NGO Focus for today.
Yes, well, I think we've made our marks. I think both NGOs are really, really great and incredible, doing incredible initiatives, you know. But okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will introduce to you our topic for the day. It's not really a topic, but it's more of a broad focus on what we want to talk about, which you will find out soon. Please use the hashtags BrandLive and Social Show on social media and let us know what you think or what NGO you would like to nominate.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za, an industry first in the world of internet radio. Not only are we an internet radio station, we are an internet radio platform for your brand. So why not expose your brand to potentially thousands of listeners and improve your customer relationships and brand equity with podcasts and live broadcasts? Be sure to check brandlive.co.za for more information. brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of internet radio.
Welcome back. So I told you before the break that we are going to introduce our broad topic to you. Now, let me first tell you that every Tuesday we are going to focus on education and the health and welfare sector. Well, today our main focus is education, and as much as education is being invested in by so many corporate companies
and government,
yeah. It is still a depleting sector.
Definitely. I mean, if you think about it, over 700 million adults, I'm not even talking about children, I'm talking adults, still lack basic reading and writing skills. And 2/3 of that number are women. So you can just imagine, it's crazy. We need to really look at how our education system is working and failing us. We have the epic, and we cannot speak about education and not speak about Fees Must Fall.
Yes.
But we have that movement that's been happening for more than a year now, more or less a year, and we cannot neglect it just because people are throwing money at it or trying to throw money at it. We need to really look at, one, the quality of education, two, how much money is being spent on education, and how people are focusing on different spaces in education. We don't want just maths and science to be the only things that people think when they think education. There's so many other aspects of it. So I think it's very important that we focus on it on Tuesdays, as well as health and welfare on other days. But I think it opens up a really, really heavy, topic.
Yes, of course. Okay, so now my NGO of choice, I actually just found them not too long ago online.
Okay.
They're education activists.
Oh,
okay?
wow.
So they're called EE, which stands for Education Equality. And it's a community and membership-based organization, and it advocates for quality and equality in the South African education system.
Yeah.
Now, it is a leader in youth leadership development, and the campaigns are based on detailed research and policy analysis, and are aimed at achieving quality education for all. Now, I mentioned that they are activists, and one of the projects they've worked on is their campaign for a sanitation plan. And I think this is, we speak about this all the time on our show, about how many schools in the rural area do not have access to proper sanitation. Now, in August 2013, Equalizers in Tembisa launched the Gauteng sanitation campaign. Now, they vowed not to stop the campaign until all students enjoyed dignified and safe sanitation in their schools. And since then, EE has conducted one of the largest social audits in South Africa. They organized a march of 2,000 of their members, picketed and protested. Now, they have met with government officials and members of the Gauteng provincial legislature to express their demands. And today, their campaign includes EE student members, which they call Equalizers. It includes parent members, churches, and community organizations in over 20 townships in all regions of Gauteng, including Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, Tshwane, Sedibeng, and the West Rand. Now, this is such a perfect example of an organization that is giving a voice to the community.
Yeah.
And so often you get communities who aren't very active in speaking about what they don't like. And here you get a community in the Tembisa community saying, no, we want more sanitation or healthcare packs in our school. We want more of this. We want more of that. And this EE, which stands for Equality Education, they are saying, yes, we will help you get there. We will organize the meetings. We will go to the Department of Education. We'll do all of that with you.
Yeah.
And I think that is just really, really, really great.
It's very difficult to open up the communication channels when you just sort of an NGO or a school or whatever the case may be. So it's very important that there's, organizations like this that help with that, because it's one thing to know what you want, it's another thing to articulate it and to say it to the right people and get the right doors open. So I think that's perfect. That's what we need. We need more access.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. They're opening up access.
Yes.
Definitely. One of the NGOs we're going to be talking about from my end in terms of education is We Think Code. Now, We Think Code, we got the chance to speak to them and sit down with them when they just recently opened up their school in downtown Johannesburg. And we really had a great time with them. Such lively people, really trying to change the world, really trying to change it one step at a time. So you need with no classes, no teachers, and no tuition. That's what We Think Code, a peer-to-peer tech academy launched last year, which offers courses to everyone between the ages of 17 and 35. And it's in partnership with Ecole 42 in France. We Think Code opened its first campus, as I said, in Johannesburg this year, actually, but it was only launched last year. So you can imagine how fast they're growing.
Wow.
The groundbreaking initiative is the product of a collaboration between Synac, Yossi Hasson, former private property CEO, and Justinus Adriansa and Arlen Mulder. These are really hectic names. Guys. Yeah. Previously from RMB Investing Banking, and Camille Agon, who set up the global foundation that brings digital education to poor children. So students don't need previous education. They don't even need matric. We Think Code identifies and trains people for free to become world-class programmers in 2 years, creating their path to employment. And the first intake was about 120 kids, and that will be scaled into 1,000 rand in the next few 1,000 students in the next few years. And the aim is to source and develop 100,000 coders in 10 years, given South Africa's ongoing IT skills crisis and that 50% of South Africa's youth is unemployed. The program has potential to make a real and significant impact. This is what I was talking about, right? When you think education, people think maths and science and sitting and being an engineer, and there's so many other aspects of it. And I love that We Think Code is looking at the digital space, because every single thing is going digital.
Definitely. And you get so many young people that are sitting at home, so many young people who had to maybe leave school to go and work for their families, and here We Think Code is saying, listen here, you didn't finish matric, it's fine, we'll still give you the necessary skills to really be successful in whatever career you'd like to go to. And I think this is actually the first time, Viwe, that I've heard of an organization doing this.
Yeah,
I've
me too.
Never heard of somebody else doing it.
And it's crazy because, whenever, even if you're applying for a job as a graduate or not a graduate or just applying a job in general, matric is standard.
Yes.
And the thing is, matric isn't not everybody has a matric.
Yes.
That's why we have such large scales of adult illiteracy, because a lot of people haven't gone to grade 12. And because you haven't gone to grade 12, what can you do? You can't do much. You have to do sort of the menial small jobs, and that's giving you the 400, that 1,000 rand money getting into the households. So if you're looking at it like this, you're looking at it, you didn't finish school. We're not saying don't finish school, by the way, but we're saying you didn't finish school for whatever reason. You still have a chance at life. You still have a chance to put worthwhile money on the table. You still have a chance to be an entrepreneur. You still have a chance to gain a skill. It doesn't mean, matric is if we weren't able to get it, it is the be all and end all of your life, And also what it does is it interrogates the education system, because it says they don't have matric, but they can learn IT. What are we really teaching, our children? Do you get me? Yeah. Already there's been such a hectic outcry on how little percentages people need to get matric, right? So already our education system in its entirety has been questioned in a lot of ways. What I love about them is that they're flipping it on its head and they're saying, you don't even need matric. You don't even need matric. So there's a lot of different things that they've opened up, and a lot of dialogues they've opened up, and that's what these organizations need to do. They need to open up the dialogue so that we know more, and people can think outside the box and not think, I couldn't get matric because I was busy trying to feed,
my family.
Exactly. And now all I can do is clean. All I can do is babysit. All I can do is, work at do gardening or something. Do gardening,
Yeah.
That's exactly it, Libika. That's exactly it. So it's a very great initiative. I think they're doing amazing stuff.
Yes. But yeah, We Think Code. I think we should actually look at getting them on the show.
They're such kind ladies. They started it. And remember when we spoke to them, they were just amazingly sweet, like the sweetest people ever.
But if you, just to add on what you said, so often, and I've heard this from so many young people that are still attending school, they're already telling me that, listen, Yelabika, a matric means nothing.
Yeah.
Because, yes, a matric is standard when you're applying for a job.
Or even for tertiary.
But now, if you look at it, you need 30% to pass maths, and then you pass. Would you really want to have a doctor or a pilot knowing 30% of what he can do? So already the percentage is so low, and I really think, not that I'm saying education is not important, which I think education is,
which is what the point of the segment, that education is important.
It's so important. But I still feel like if you can learn skills, if you know how to do, because, sorry, let me first say this. There are so many students who come from varsity and they don't really know how to, like, for example, if you studied videography at varsity, you would go and work at some place, a videography place, and you might not really know how to use a camera there because the cameras are different and all of those things. So yes, you studied for 4 years, but then you come to work and you still don't know how to do your job.
Exactly.
But We Think Code is providing the skills. It's giving you practical skills, you know? So it's teaching you, this is the theory and this is also how you can do the job, so that when you get the job, you know how to do it.
It's very, very amazing. We Think Code is doing really great stuff. But I think what I also like you mentioned, is the fact that you don't really need a bar to enter. It's really, it feels inclusive. It feels like everyone can just go. Obviously, it's 17 to 35, but that's still a large stretch.
Yes.
You can still learn at 30. Do you know what I mean? So they've got a really good market, and there's a really meaningful impact, I think. In other NGOs, we're doing a great thing. I actually heard about these ladies today.
Okay.
I got the chance to speak to them as well. I just gave them a call and just asked them a little bit more about their foundation. But 4 Black Girls Fashion Trade launch took place at the GSB MTN Solution Space in Philippi Village last week Friday, and the event offered 50 guests the opportunity to make their first donation and to learn more about the organization and bid for an item of clothing, the proceeds of which were donated to their cause. And I'll tell you a little bit about the cause a little bit later. But basically, 4 Black Girls Fashion Trade is a non-profit organization that trades fashion for education by collecting lightly worn clothing donated by the public, upcycling them with up-and-coming designers, and then reselling them for profit, which is then invested in an education fund used to assist the black girl child from a disadvantaged background with education necessities like school fees, school books, school uniform, school shoes, sanitary products, mentorship, career and life guidance. The organization is founded and managed by Nasipi Fazi and Hlumisa Mbanga and Kuhle Dumeduze, who saw a need to give back to the black girl child and in particular support them with educational necessities. Now, the event was attended obviously by close friends and family, as well as business partners and sponsors, and it gave founders the opportunity to delve into the organization and what it's all about and what it stands for, who it will benefit and how it will make money, and most importantly, how the public can get involved. So if you want to get involved, before I even get into the conversation, please go to www.forblackgirlsfashiontrade.com or email them at info@forblackgirlsfashion.com. Trading of clothing on website will begin early 2017, where consumers will be able to purchase the upcycled clothing and take part in changing the lives of thousands of black girls in South Africa. Now, who would have thought that fashion would go such a long way in really providing education, resources? I love what they're thinking about it. If you think about fashion and where it's going right now, it's got a lot of vintage styles.
Yes.
And so old clothes become new clothes, and that's how fashion works. Old trends become new trends. So it always becomes a valuable entity to have. So the fact that they're teaming up with really amazing up and coming designers, one, they're bringing designers' names up, right? So people are getting known. People who aren't necessarily in the media can get access to sponsoring. If their work is really good, they can get access to people buying their clothes, being involved in their creations rather. So you've got that part of it, and then you've got people buying these clothes and redonating all that money into educational necessities for black girls specifically. Yes, Abigail, what do you think? What do you think about it?
I actually have a question. So what happens? It's like a bursary for black girls, right?
It isn't like a bursary. It's more like, so there's they've got girls that they've identified
Okay.
that are in disadvantaged communities in Cape Town, right?
Okay.
And what they do is that they then use the money that has been donated through the selling of the clothes to tend to whatever educational need they may have. You get me? So, for instance, if I'm a girl that they've identified, then they would be like, okay, what is your biggest necessity? What don't you have right now? And it could be uniform. It could be just books. It could be things to write with. It could be life coaching and guidance. So they kind of see where you're at and they try to tend to that need.
Wow, that's really great. But you know what? If you really look at bursaries these days, some of these bursaries don't really cover textbooks and transport and res or uniform and those kind of things. So I think this is really, really great, to fill that gap. And especially... I know I actually applied for a bursary when I finished school, and sometimes I was declined a bursary. But sometimes you are sometimes you're not poor enough to get a bursary.
That's wow. Wow.
You really
I like that you said that point.
Yes, you're really not poor enough, and organizations like these that are really trying to fill that gap, and to allow you to go to school with textbooks or maybe pay half of your tuition
like
fees.
That school you spoke about yesterday.
Yes, I think that's really great, and I think we need more of them. Really.
I like the point sometimes you're not too poor enough, because it's such a political statement to say, because you find that even with the fees must fall situation, they're speaking about those who can afford should go and pay, and those who can't should not pay at all. But now, how do we really equate who can't pay and who can? Okay, so your parents were able to, out of the bare skin on their teeth, they were able to take you through high school, and you had uniforms, you had everything. But it doesn't mean they can take you to varsity, right? And it doesn't mean just because you're able to eat food every single day, you're able to afford tuition. It doesn't mean that just because you have a good uniform and because you've got good hair that you're able to afford tuition. So there's a really fine line between being poor enough and not being poor enough. Yes. And I really like that you made up that point. I think it's it's a very good start off. Maybe for next week's episode we can talk about a little bit more about being too poor enough. I really like it. But that's it from us in terms of education. If you guys want to know a little bit more about the people we spoke about, please visit their sites. I know we did mention them. It's
We Think Code.
We Think Code, definitely. And for me, it is For Girls Fashion Trade, as well as
EE, which is equalityeducation.org.za.
That's it. So if you really want to get involved, or you want to know how you can contribute to innovative ways to educate the disadvantaged youth, please do tell us on Social TV One on Twitter, as well as
TV_CSI on Instagram.
There we go. As well as on our Facebook page, yes, which is also Social TV. So don't hesitate to ask us. And also, just on the brink of what Labika said, which I think is very important, sometimes you're not poor enough. How can we really negotiate that? How do we really equate that? But before we get into it, we'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back after this.
How much would you expect to pay for your very own radio show? 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 Rand? Well, try 750 Rand. Brandlive.co.za is a global first as an internet radio platform upon which for you to showcase your brand. Visit brandlive.co.za now and find out how you can improve your brand equity almost immediately with podcasts and live broadcasts. Brand Live, now your brand has a voice.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining in. If you don't know, you're listening to The Social Show with Viwe Chilwana and Labika Rawad. Now, listen, we are going to answer your problems, okay? We're going to give you a solution to your problem. So if your problem is you don't know what to do this month, we're going to give you a solution.
Most definitely.
Okay? So I have an event that I would like to showcase.
Yes.
And Viwana, you have one as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my event is actually 702. 702 has partnered with The Moth, which is an acclaimed non-profit organization that seeks to honor the diversity and commonality of human experience through the art and craft by storytelling to present what promises to be a unique theater experience.
Wow.
Now, beneath the armor, which is a moth storytelling showcase, will feature 6 storytellers from across the African continent exploring broad themes of personal identity, with 3 of the evening storytellers specifically sharing their personal experience with HIV and AIDS. Now, there's a woman one of the storytellers is Grace Kamau, who was involved in 6 work programs for the past 8 years. And Grace's passion has been working with 6 workers on issues of HIV prevention, human rights, and movement building. She currently works as a consultant and brings a wealth of experience on sex work programming and movement building. So Grace will be there. She's going to be one of the storytellers, and if you can really listen to her story and also engage with her. It will happen on Wednesday, the 16th of November at the Market Theatre in Johannesburg, and doors open from 7:30, and the show starts at 8 o'clock. So tickets you can get online, which range from 65 Rand to 95 Rand, and that's not a lot, people. It's really, I know it's in the end of the month, so money might be or the middle of the month, but money might be tight. But 65 Rand or 95 Rand is not, it's not bad.
It's the 8th today. It can't be the middle of the month.
No, 16th of November is the middle.
Oh, it's on the middle. Okay.
You're not listening to me, huh?
I'm joking.
You see, now let me
I was
tell
trying
you.
to catch you out.
No. I need to tell you that Viwe looks for everything to... She likes throwing things at me. So you see, she hit herself with a shotgun.
Hit myself with a shotgun.
No,
Okay,
I just made that up.
But what I like about it is that they're using a different strategy, because it's such a rife. If you think about sex work, right? We spoke about it quite recently. It's a rife. It's a cringing topic. A lot of people don't want to hear about it. So theatre becomes such a good catalyst.
Yes.
Because you're able to not say the things and show them, and it's easier to do that. For people, it's easier to watch something than to actually show them what it is that is happening. So I might go. We might go.
I think we should go.
I think we should go. I think,
I think it's a date. I've always wanted to go on a date with you, so I think this is a date we wear.
Okay, Libika.
I mean it in a friendly way.
Okay, Libika. Anyway, in other event news, Africa Youth Transformation and Development Conference will be happening tomorrow. You know, the conference aims to address the social, economic, and political successes and challenges for the African youth in a globalized economy. African governments and development institutions have developed policies and strategic long and short-term plans to address issues that affect youth in all spheres: unemployment, education, drugs, HIV and AIDS, loss of hope, and economic opportunities. The conference will discuss successes, lessons learned, and identify gaps, challenges, and emerging issues on the topic. The theme of the conference is regenerating Africa's future that lies in today's youth transformation. Some of the topics that will be covered include the power of social enterprise, creating work readiness, skills, and jobs for African youth, thematic focus on youth transforming the Africa we live, social and behavioral change in a dynamic youth market, and much more. So if you are interested, it starts tomorrow on the 9th of November to the 10th of November. It starts at 8 to 5 in the evening, and also it will be at Sandton, Johannesburg. They haven't really told me where.
8 to 5 in the evening?
No, 8 to 5 and ends at 5 in the evening.
Oh, so it starts in the morning.
8 in the morning,
okay,
yes.
Got it. Okay, I just wanted to clarify, Viwe, seeing that you just threw a shotgun at
your
me.
foot.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. And the cost is 5,000 Rand per 5,990 for every delegate. So if you're interested in understanding the youth a little bit more and really wanting to engage and getting some really great insight on with industry experts and people who are really trying to make the youth regenerate as they want, as they said, please go, guys. I think it's really great. And if you want to go, email info@milla, MILLASA.co.za, or call them on 021 556 9253, and the company name that's going to be throwing it is MILLA Miller SA, not the drink.
Okay.
It's a different company.
Because that's not what I was thinking about, Viwe.
Exactly. Whenever I think of, events that have the word transformation in them, I just get so
excited.
I don't say it's excited. It's like I feel like it's a buzzword. I feel like it's like everyone's trying to throw it around.
You're right.
But people really need to really understand what they're saying. Because, transformation will get people's maybe minds going, but it's going to die out at some point.
Yes.
And then no one's really going to want to listen. So I hope that it really does deal with understanding transformation from a deep level. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm not sure. But if you are interested, please go to Africa Youth Transformation and Development Conference. I'm sure they'll have some amazing pointers for the youth.
And great food as well.
Okay. Yeah,
I know you're done with me right now.
When it comes to food, I'm done with you. But definitely, guys, if you want to check out the 2 events we talked about, please definitely go and just show your support and
Yes.
learn a little bit more about your country, learn a little bit more about the things that are going on in your country, and be aware, be a social citizen. That's what we want you to be. Social citizens. It's called the social show. So are you a social citizen?
I try to be. Are you? Beware.
Look, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I'm joking. I am a social citizen, and I think everyone should be.
Yes.
Well, that's it from us today at the show.
Yes, that's it from us. Please, as we were mentioned before in the show, please mention us on Twitter at Social1TV and at TV_CSI on Instagram. We'd love to know your thoughts about the show. And if you have any suggestions, if you're an NGO, if you want to be featured on the show, please let us know on social media and use the hashtags BrandLive and Social Show. That's it from us.
Thoughts, scenes.
Have you ever thought of the power of talk radio and what it can do for your business? Well, brandlive.co.za has been developed with that in mind and brings you an international first. The brandlive.co.za internet radio platform gives businesses a new voice and opportunity to change the conventional communication platform that a newsletter represents. Facilitated by leading industry experts, the brandlive.co.za platform offers a high-quality digital talk radio medium for companies to communicate their new developments, create customer-centric radio content, develop an added value in terms of client relations, and create a better flow in terms of feedback and interactivity to their existing customer base and market. Simultaneously, the platform can also open a brand or business to a new group of potential customers. Technology is constantly shaping the way we communicate and consume information, which presents your business with a simple and affordable way to address your customer or client in a modern, multifaceted setting. Internet radio is now available for your business, a powerful corporate branded tool to complement your existing communication platforms. In today's competitive market, you need to use every tool available to retain and cultivate loyal customers. Online corporate branded radio offers you an exciting range of communication tools uniquely tailored to your brand and addressing your communication challenges. With the brandlive.co.za radio platform, you have the power to brand your business in the way you like. You are able to develop content with your own production team and have the opportunity to interact with your customers in real time on issues such as quality assurance, customer service, and any other operational matters. brandlive.co.za. Now your brand has a voice.